Welcome to this council meeting for the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich. It is June 10, 2026. It is 5 p.m. and I'll call this meeting to order. Randy, please.
Moved by Pemberton, seconded by Loveland, that the meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich opens at 5 p.m. All in favor? That's carried.
Councilor Pemberton will give our land acknowledgement.
We will begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of First Nations people who have long-standing relationships to the land, water, and region of southwestern Ontario. We also acknowledge that the local Lower Thames River watershed communities, which include Chippewa of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, Munsee Delaware Nation, and Delaware Nation of Moraviantown. We value the significant historical and contemporary contributions of local and regional First Nations and all of the original peoples of Turtle Island, North America. We are thankful for the opportunity to live, learn, and share with mutual respect and appreciation.
Okay, thank you for that. I would remind council of any declaration of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, Clerk Randy. The draft minutes from the previous meeting were included in the agenda package. Are there any errors or omissions? The minutes will be adopted as presented to council in the agenda. Now, Clerk Randy, are there any items not listed on the agenda?
There are none.
Thank you. Item 6 is a planning issue. We have a minor variance to deal with, and we will be going into a meeting of the Committee of Adjustment. Randy, please.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Pemberton, that the regular meeting end to sit as a Committee of Adjustment hearing to hear application file MV 0126 filed by Kevin Vanderveen at 5:01 p.m. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay. Thank you. I will call this Committee of Adjustment hearing to order. The minutes of the Committee of Adjustment meeting held on October 8th, 2025 for minor variance MV 04/25 at 32774 Aaron Line filed by Roland Kretschmer are approved as distributed. They were included in your agenda package. Okay, this application for minor variance pursuant to section 45(1) of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, as amended, is required for the following reasons. To request relief of section 4.28 parking requirements to permit the removal of parking requirements for 2 new future residential units to be developed on the second floor of a mixed-use building. Does any member of council have a disclosure of interest concerning the proposals? Seeing none. What method of notice and when was the notice given to the public for this meeting?
A sign was posted on the subject property prior to the May 31st, 2026 deadline, and notices were mailed to property owners within 60 meters of the subject property prior to the May 31st, 2026 deadline.
Okay, thank you. I will now introduce our planner to present the report, Evan McKinstry, Junior Planner with Elgin County Planning. Are you with us, Evan?
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can. Your report, please.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the committee, minor variance application MV 01/2026 is for the property municipally known as 189 Curry Road. Staff are recommending that council receive the report for information and that the Committee of Adjustment refuse the application. The application seeks relief from the parking requirements under section 4.28 of the zoning bylaw to permit the future development of 2 residential units on the vacant second floor of an existing mixed-use building without providing the required 2 on-site parking spaces. The subject property has an area of approximately 244.9 square meters and is currently occupied by a 2-story commercial building with a vacant second floor. The property is serviced by municipal water and wastewater and is designated Central Business District in the official plan and zoned Village General Commercial in the zoning bylaw. In terms of planning context, the proposal has been reviewed against the provincial planning statement, the County of Elgin official plan, and the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich official plan and zoning bylaw. The proposal is generally consistent with the provincial and official plan policy direction, which encourages intensification, efficient use of existing buildings, and residential development within the settlement areas and downtown cores, including residential uses above commercial spaces. The primary issue is off-site parking. The zoning bylaw requires 1 parking space per dwelling unit, meaning 2 spaces would be required for the proposed 2 residential units. The subject property currently provides no on-site parking, and the existing commercial use also relies on surrounding on-street parking. While most commenting agencies had no concerns, Public Works does not support the application due to concerns related to the lack of on-street parking, winter parking restrictions, potential congestion, and traffic safety impacts within the downtown area. In applying the 4 tests of a minor variance, staff find that the proposal maintains the intent and purpose of the official plan. As I mentioned, it supports residential intensification. However, the proposal does not maintain the intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw, as it does not provide the required off-street parking and would increase reliance on limited on-street parking in the downtown core. While the proposal is considered desirable and appropriate in orderly development of the lands and represents good use of existing building in a settlement area, it is not considered minor in nature due to the absence of the on-site parking. With that being said, staff recommend that the minor variance application be refused as the proposal does not satisfy the 4 tests of a minor variance under the Planning Act. However, it is recognized that the municipality intends to undertake a parking study in the near future. This study will provide additional information regarding parking availability and long-term parking needs within Dutton. The subject lands are located within the central business district where services and amenities are accessible within walking distance. The proposal represents residential intensification and the efficient use of underutilized lands. However, it is in the opinion of staff that the application cannot be supported in its current form. That said, the results of the forthcoming parking study may provide further direction regarding parking supply and demand within Dutton, which could inform potential adjustments on parking requirements in the future. And with that, I'm open to any questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Evan, for your report. Hang around if you would, please. Is
Yeah.
the owner present? Do you have anything you'd like to add at this time? Come right up to the chair here, Evan, so we can hear you.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Evan. I had previous discussion with Evan as he was considering the application. I think we had a couple calls during, so I do understand the position from a county perspective and why yeah, I guess just Evan's report in general. I think just to backtrack, I think that we bought the building with the purpose of putting 2 affordable apartments up top. We think it's a good use of an efficient use of the building. Going from vacant space to yeah, 2 new residential units. The other I guess the main reason for the application was there is 2 parking spots in the rear of the property. However, they are undersized according to the bylaw. So the bylaw is 6 meters for a parking stall depth. And we are at 4.7 and change meters deep. Previously, we've used and to be honest, I think they're still using the rear parking. However, it is not conforming to the bylaw. So that was partially the reason that we applied just for no parking in general. Secondly, we are aware that there is other mixed-use buildings in the downtown core that are currently without parking arrangements as well, or formal parking arrangements. And I think to my knowledge that I don't know if there's any safety or any physical complaints about just the residential units. I know that during the day it can be congested downtown when during business hours. Yeah, and I think yeah, maybe that's just our background of why we are here.
Okay, thank you for that. Do the committee members have any questions of the planning report? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Lovell.
I just want to make sure I'm in my mind, I'm clear, Evan. I think if I do the calculations correctly, that building really requires about 6 parking spots for the existing commercial. And of course, that would be legal non-conforming because it's been there for quite a while that way. Um, commercial, commercial parking isn't quite so bad on the street because they're not there at night and gives us a chance to plow the roads and stuff. But I guess just wanted to verify that that was correct.
Yep, through you, Mr. Chair, correct. Building permit was already issued for the commercial development downstairs, so the parking requirements is just for the 2 residential units upstairs.
Anything further? Councillor Pemberton.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. And through, yeah, I guess Deputy Mayor Loveland brought up a good question. I guess the legal non-conforming status, because it's an existing building and is a residential uses are a permitted use within the VC zoning. Is there a reason why this doesn't comply with legal non-conforming status?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I believe it's just because there was not prior residential units on the second floor. Because it's the new proposed development going in the second floor, that's why the application for minor variance had to come through. Because there was the existing commercial on the ground floor, but there was no prior residential on the second floor.
Okay, and I guess my second question would be if that's the case, I guess I'm not sure I totally understand that, but if that's the case, and we're looking to do a parking feasibility study in our downtown course that we can have some development there, instead of rejecting this application, could we look at deferring it until the feasibility is done to see if there's alternative options, or would that be a better solution than denying it at this point in time?
Yeah, Tony, do you want to touch on the parking study, if you might?
Sure. Through your worship, we have met with county planners and staff to discuss a feasibility study for our parking in the downtown area. This has been something that has been brought up many times before, and I think the timing is right to do this parking study. So we are going to be bringing back a report to council at the next council meeting, June 24th, with a scope of work of what we're going to include in that parking study. And then over the next couple of months, we are going to be completing that study and bringing back the results to council for their consideration. So there could be some impact on this application as well.
Councillor Pemberton.
Yeah, I guess just one more comment. I guess I'd rather defer this than deny it at this point in time, in my opinion. I know other municipalities have removed the requirement for parking in their downtown cores because there's a lack of parking, or if you have municipal parking lots in the area, which we do have. So I don't mind the thought of deferring it until we have a little bit more information, but I would suggest that we defer the application instead of denying it.
A question for Evan, is that a possibility?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I believe so. I believe going through and doing the parking study would be very valuable because it would give more information on how many parking spaces are available in the downtown core. I guess if it can be deferred, I believe so, because if I'm not correct, Kevin, no development can occur until the ICBL is lifted, correct? So there's no real.
Yeah, we can't acquire a building permit at this time anyway.
If I could, Kevin, you mentioned you don't have the space. Is it the distance between the back of your building and the edge of the street that's?
Yeah.
And there's no way to add to that space from your building? There's.
It would be like taking distance out of the building itself.
Okay.
The previous owners would have built an addition on the back. Likely, that's why it's steeper than the adjacent buildings. You'll see it, yeah.
Okay. Councillor.
The apartments upstairs, were the apartments at one time, the upstairs on the second floor?
Yeah, I can't confirm that they were From the previous owner's recollection, they used it as an office space with, it had like a functioning kitchenette. And two office spaces up there when we bought it. But previous to that, I mean, the building's super old, so. I guess there was no washroom up there, so maybe that's a good tell that there wasn't, but. Yeah.
I'm just gonna make a comment. Kevin, we want to see development like this go through. We've targeted our position to Main Street as far as ICBL and everything to make every effort to accommodate this type of development. So we want to see it happen. Is this really time critical, or if you could speak to that, where you're at in your process?
Yeah, so and Evan and I talked, maybe it was last month even. We weren't sure exactly when the parking study was going to come along. So I think at our original phone call, Evan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we thought that potentially we could be months or, even a year away from actually doing the study. So I think that at that time we decided just to pull the trigger and bring it to the table. However, I think from a development standpoint, it would be nice to know, in several months, maybe one way or the other, because if we have to switch gears into some other, commercial type of arrangement up there, we're going to use the space likely regardless. But we have some time to, defer. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Through your worship, when we first started looking into a parking study, and this comment was made by council a few months back, and looking at the various options available to us to hire an external consulting firm to come do this does not come cheap. So we were looking at, what other possibilities do we have available? So in speaking with county planning, they recently hired an additional planner that has some skill sets in this particular area, and as well as our senior manager of infrastructure, a professional engineer, can also contribute toward that parking study. So we made a determination that it's probably in our best interest and the community's best interest that we undertake the study sooner than later, given right now the ICBL, there's a lot of things are on pause. This is probably going to be the best time to get this thing completed, and then the report would come back to council for their consideration, as well as this application if it gets deferred this evening. So I think there wouldn't be any downside to deferring this particular application at this time.
One more question for Evan. It seems to me it'd be advisable or in the better interest of Kevin Vanderveen here to defer it. If we turn it down, he has to start the process all over again, and there would be some financial parts to that. Can you comment on that, please?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Yep, I totally agree. Deferring the application at this point seems like a better route forward than refusal at this time. Because like you said, yeah, it's a financial cost, and deferring it would give us better information from the parking study of what parking requirements are needed for the downtown core. And the results from the parking study, whatever they find will definitely impact this application.
Okay, thank you for that. Everybody's good with? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just finish up here. Okay. Secretary Treasurer, have any comments from staff?
Yes, summarized in the planner's report.
Okay, thank you. Does the Secretary Treasurer have any written submissions on this application?
Yes, summarized in the planner's report.
Okay. Are there any persons present who were notified of this meeting and would like to comment on the application? Okay. So it's consideration of the decision of the committee. So we would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to defer the application.
We get a seconder on that? Okay, got that?
Okay. Moved by Pemberton, seconded by Loveland, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report for the planner titled application for minor variance, MV 0126, 189 Curry Road, Kevin Vanderveen, dated June 10th, 2026 for information. And that the Committee of Adjustment for the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich defers minor variance application MV 0126 for the property located at 189 Curry Road until a parking study can be completed. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay, we didn't really make a decision on it, so this committee of adjustment meeting is now concluded. Okay. Here. Okay. Look, Randy, if you.
Moved by Pemberton, seconded by Dreyfus, that the meeting of the Committee of Adjustment to hear minor variance application MV 0126 filed by Kevin Vanderveen closes at 5:20 p.m. and the regular council meeting reconvenes. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay. On to correspondence. The Township of Clearview vacant commercial storefront tax. I'm thinking, is this ever come across your EDC, this topic? Councilor Dreyfus.
Through you, Mayor Hens, yes, it actually has come through the Economic Development Committee quite often as being hopefully a motivational factor in people doing something with the building. So I think that I'm in full support of this, the agenda here with Clearview, trying to get their storefronts used and functioning. So yes, it has come across. So, yeah.
Any other comments from council? I have a question for either James or Tony. Would that be another tax category or class that would have to be introduced for a vacant? We don't have anything like that on the books.
Through your mayor, no, there's nothing currently on the books for a vacant commercial storefront tax. So that would have to be another tax class, I would think, developed by MPAC.
Okay, well, we're not to that point yet anyway. No other comments? Resolution, please.
Moved by Pemberton, seconded by Loveland, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives and supports the resolution from the Township of Clearview regarding the implementation of a vacant commercial storefront tax, and that a copy of this resolution be sent to Rob Flack, MPP, Andrew Lawton, MP, and the Township of Clearview. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay. Item B, the town of Perry Sound, having to do with consultation on school boards. Anyone wish to comment on that? Nothing? Okay.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Pemberton, that Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives and supports the resolution from the town of Perry Sound regarding consultation on changes in school board governance, and that a copy of this resolution be sent to Rob Flack, MPP, Andrew Lawton, MP, and the town of Perry Sound. All in favor? That's carried.
And item C is the Municipality of Wawa and its grant funding for fire services. Don't think it really pertains to our situation, but any comments on that one? Nothing?
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives and supports the resolution from the Municipality of Wawa regarding provincial grant funding for fire services, and that a copy of this resolution be sent to Rob Flack, MPP, Andrew Lawton, MP, and the Municipality of Wawa. All in favor? That's carried.
On to the consent agenda. Item A, number 1, it's bring your own alcohol events. Anyone wish to speak to that?
Yeah, I've experienced this in my other role, and what we looked into and would suggest is looking into and defining what would be a municipally significant event. Because in order for people to be able to bring their own alcohol, it has to be designated as a municipally significant event. So instead of just kind of willy-nilly going, oh yeah, it's a municipal significant event, I think we should maybe look into a policy and define what a municipally significant event is. And that way we can ensure it's regulated moving forward.
Any other comments on that one? The only comment I make that it's kind of a fundraiser, you know, when we have events in the park, especially the Lions are there and it's part of what they do and it all goes back to the community. So there's that angle as well that I'm a little concerned about before we jump into something like this thing. Is there okay, nothing on that. Item 2, Western Ontario Wardens Caucus May newsletter. Anyone wish to speak to that? Councillor Dreyfus.
Yeah, I just noticed in the newsletter, the economic development for elected officials, and I went through the agenda. They have 4 different time frames for it. It looks pretty intriguing. So I may attend that. The closest one actually is Elora. It's a 4-hour approach to informing elected officials on the functioning purpose of an local economic development committee. So, and it's essentially on how economic development supports a community, learn why it's a long-term strategic investment. And I know Tony and I have talked about working on a long-term strategic plan connection between EDC and the community development. Learn how all economic development partners interact, and that would be with the federal, provincial, and county levels. The common misconceptions of economic development, which we have run into in Dutton itself, how elected officials can advocate for economic development, and what it means to invest in investment-ready land, and how we can take that approach and how important it is. So I think there's a lot here that could benefit. So I'm just putting it out there if there's anybody interested in participating. But I really am coming to see more and more that economic development strategies are essential for municipalities, and without it, you tend to go all different directions with no purpose. So anyway, I'm just bringing that out. I thought it was a really good article and it's worth a read. So
I would certainly support covering your cost to attend something like that if you see a value in it.
I do. I see it very valuable.
And on to committee reports. Board at Community Center, Board of Management. Hey, Deputy Mayor Loveland, you want to speak further to that?
Excuse me, not really a lot to say. We did discuss the budget at the last meeting. Other than that, it's just normal housekeeping stuff. Just like to make the comment that the boards are being replaced this summer. I think they're due to land in and start putting new ones in very soon. The old ones are all removed, and that's part of that overall project that we call the green improvements, but that is processing it under this year's budget.
Any further comments on? No. And item 2 on committee reports, Elgin area primary water supply system. Another one, Deputy Mayor Loveland.
That's also me, I guess. Not a lot to report there. The usual quarterly meeting. Been through the inspections and audits and everything's fine. They also presented at the last meeting, it's not on this one, but at the last meeting, the audited statements for the Tri-County Water Board. I think for last year, we had a surplus of about $4 million, which is pretty big change compared to what we deal with here, but not enough probably for there, so. Not a lot there, it's just a normal meeting, nothing really earth shattering to report.
Okay, thank you. Anything further on that? Okay, on to the staff monthly reports. Manager of Roads and Facilities. Reports before you. Any comments from or questions? See none. Water operations. I do have a question on that one. Oh, sorry. The next one. Nothing on water. Wastewater operator monthly report. A question, maybe Tony can help me with that one. He talks about construction has been suspended over the last few weeks as we wait for concrete structures to arrive. Is that the well, or would that be for the pumping station? Maybe you could add to that.
It's more related to the pumping station. So this is something that they advised us that they are running late in getting the items here to the community. So we don't anticipate it putting too much more pressure on the overall timelines.
So just a little delayed. Yeah, thank you for that. Anything further on that one? On to the monthly building activity report. No questions of council. Drainage superintendent monthly report. Recreation monthly activity report. Nothing from, okay. Resolution, please, Randy.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Pemberton, that the items on the consent agenda be approved. All in favor? That's carried.
Everything must be just terrific because there's no questions or concerns, so that's a good thing.
A good thing.
Okay, on to the treasurer's report, and we have James with us. This 2026 tax rate bylaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, to council. Each year, council is required to pass a tax levy bylaw to establish the final tax rates for municipal purposes and to authorize for the collection of such taxes for the current taxation year. So this bylaw is based on the 2026 assessment roll, which is dated December 9th, 2025. And the proposed bylaw establishes the 2026 rates for all applicable classes, and it includes municipal, county, and the school board taxes. It also sets our final due dates of the year, which are August 31st, 2026 and November 30th, 2026.
Okay, thank you for that report. Council, have any questions? Resolution, please.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the treasurer titled 2026 Tax Rate Bylaw dated June 10th, 2026 for information, and that council approves the 2026 tax rate bylaw and accompanying rates. All in favor? That's carried.
Other staff reports, we have truck parking issues on Pioneer Line at the intersection of Pioneer and Curry. Tony, are you going to speak to that? The report's before you, but.
Thank you. Through you, Your Worship. The report identifies a current situation that we have that we are noticing, and the public has also commented to us that there are trucks that are parking along that section of the roadway. And in the report, it identifies some options available to council at this time. Given that we will probably be seeing some future development of that area, so we're of the opinion that the best decision right now is to put some no parking signs. And if someone does violate the no parking signs, there would be an enforcement issue that they would be subject to. So at this time, we are making the recommendation for the installation of no parking signs.
Questions from council? Councillor Pemberton.
Yeah, I had no problem with the no parking signs or anything like that. I guess, as Tony mentioned, the enforcement, again, because I deal with this in other areas. I believe Dutton's parking fines are similar to others in the areas, and I think really need a good look at and review of, because people getting $25 tickets for parking illegally, it costs more for our employee to go out and write the ticket than it does to pay the ticket. So no issue with the no parking, but would certainly like our parking fines reviewed and possibly increased.
Okay. I travel Pioneer quite a bit and not the best road we've got. And when somebody's taking half the one lane and it's hard on the road, then it creates a safety hazard. There's no question about it. I'd like to see everybody stop and buy dinner or something at McDonald's or wherever they're going. We don't want to discourage that, but if we can find another way to deal with it. Anyway, just a comment. Okay, that's it on that one. Randy, please.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Pemberton, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the Senior Manager of Infrastructure and Development and the Manager of Roads and Facilities titled Truck Parking Issues on Pioneer Line at the intersection of Pioneer Line and Curry Road, dated June 10th, 2026 for information. And that council directs staff to prepare the necessary bylaw amendments and install no parking signage along portions of Pioneer Line in the vicinity of Curry Road and the commercial plaza area in order to improve road safety, reduce roadside deterioration, and permit enforcement of parking restrictions. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay, thank you. And item B, we have a zoning bylaw amendment, ICBL exemption request for 29548 Pioneer Line. The report is in front of you. Questions, comments from council? Nothing? Okay. Ready, please. Anything staff want to add to it? Okay, go ahead.
Moved by Pemberton, seconded by Dreyfus, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the Senior Manager of Infrastructure and Development titled Zoning Bylaw Amendment ICBL Exemption Request 29548 Pioneer Line, dated June 10th, 2026 for information, and that council accept the exemption from the ICBL for a future severance application for lands located at 29548 Pioneer Line. All in favor? That's carried.
Keeps things moving. And item C is a report from Charlotte concerning naming the soccer fields, and the report's in front of you. Anyone wish to comment on that? Councilor Dreyfus.
Yeah, through your mayor, Hens, I think this is a fantastic idea. And it's high time that Bill is recognized for this, and it should have been done a long time ago, but that's okay. We're doing it now. So congratulations to the Patterson family for their commitment to the community. And I know he's done a lot for us. So that's I think it's really good that we recognize that.
It's never too late to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Anything further? Go ahead.
Through your worship, as indicated in the report, there is an opportunity at the next council meeting on June 24th to formally recognize Mr. Patterson for his contribution. And there are efforts underway right now at the July 1st event, Canada Day event. We would have some type of an event to also recognize him at the actual soccer field itself. So we're trying to ensure that this gets some visibility to the public. And as Councillor has mentioned, that this is well overdue, but it is the right thing to do.
And I'll just mention that Bill and Charlotte and Tony had an excellent visit there last week and probably more to come. Okay, resolution, please.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Pemberton, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the Manager of Communications and Community Services titled Naming of the Soccer Fields in Sons of Scotland Park, dated June 10th, 2026 for information, and that Council approve the naming of the soccer field located within Sons of Scotland Park as Patterson Field in recognition of the Patterson family's longstanding dedication, service, and significant contributions to the municipality of Dutton Dunwich and the broader community. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay, thank you for that. Any unfinished business? Seeing none. Any new business? Nothing new? Any announcements? Go ahead, James.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to let council know that as of June 1st, we were in receipt of our first milestone payment from the Health and Safety Water Grant. So funds have started to flow. Yes.
Good fun.
There was a little anxiety in this office with James and Tony there for a while, but go ahead.
If I can also add to that, I also do want to recognize Dillon Consulting and also the general contractor, JR. They were working with us, and when the payments were requested, they understand the situation that we were in. We would have had to provide some type of short-term borrowing to pay for these invoices. So they were very patient. I want to thank them for their patience as well. We were able to save some interest costs associated with that. And as soon as we found out, those invoices were paid immediately. So we're very happy to announce that.
Terrific. Okay, on to proposed bylaws. First one, bylaw 2026-29, appointed deputy clerk. Randy, please.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that bylaw 2026-29, being a bylaw to appoint a deputy clerk for the municipality of Dutton Dunwich, be read a first, second, and third time and passed. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay. Thank you for that. Bylaw 2026-30, tax rate bylaw.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Pemberton, that bylaw 2026-30, being a bylaw to establish a levy for the year 2026, to adopt tax rates for 2026, and to provide for penalty and interest in default payment and the collection thereof, be read a first, second, and third time and passed. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay. And bylaw to confirm proceedings. Randy, please.
Moved by Pemberton, seconded by Dreyfus, that bylaw 2026-31, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the municipal council of the municipality of Dutton Dunwich, be read a first, second, and third time and passed. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay, and the future meetings are before us. Bear in mind, July 15th, we're 4 p.m. I think I darn near missed the last July 15th, 4 p.m. meeting because I thought it was 5, so I'll make a note of that. And we can wrap it up, Randy, please.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that the meeting of the council of the municipality of Dutton Dunwich closes at 5:43 p.m. All in favor? That's carried.
Thank you all.